kind of unfortunately spend lots of money, and that's a bad habit of mine. So I attended a local comic book convention called Silicon Valley Comic Con here in San Jose. It's hosted by Adam Savage, which you all probably know from the show called Mythbusters. Essentially every single year, a bunch of comic book nerds, pop culture fanatics, all join together to partake in this one event where you can purchase a ton of different merchandise, celebrate all things pop culture, and just overall have a good time. I've attended every single year from 2019, but unfortunately could not attend 2020 because of, that one worldwide event we can't talk about here on YouTube or anywhere. But this year, I decided to make a difference. I joined this event, decided to spend lots of money, and I'll showcase some of the haul I picked up today. If you know me well, you know I love fighting games. I just love everything about it, from games like Tekken, Street Fighter, King of Fighters, Mortal Kombat, Guilty Gear. I just love the premise of just learning how to master a character to the point where you can just beat someone up. It's a bit off, but something I wish I could have more of in my collection and wish I could find more of is just those old Capcom vintage toys. Figures, statues, magnets, all that good stuff. I was thankful enough to actually a couple of weeks ago to find some SNK vs Capcom SVC Chaos comics, to find those out in the wild. But while I was at this comic book convention, I found a figure I was honestly excited to find just because it's from one of my favorite video games of all time. And that figure is our Mika from Street Fighter Revolution, it says here, but I believe that's the figure line. It's actually from Street Fighter Alpha and also 3. It's around that era, so I believe it's 2002, 3, 4, around there, early 2000s. I love, honestly, that type of video games, especially fighting games. It's really nice, beautiful pixel art and everything. And our Mika was a wrestling character from that game. So this is a vintage collection figure. It comes with an extra head, extra hands, actually a card, and that card is of Alex from Street Fighter as well. I paid 20 bucks for it, which is a steal because if you look online, these things go for around $55 or so. I'm not planning on selling it, but I always like looking at the value of things to know whether I overpaid or underpaid. That way you can know whether you're getting a good deal or not. So honestly, I'm super happy to have this in my collection. Not sure if I should open it yet or keep it in the box, but for now I'm going to keep it in the box until I have more. That way I can have a little shelf or a little collection of a bunch of Street Fighter figures. So if I find more, I'm definitely going to get these guys because they're beautiful. I just love that vintage look. Something else I've always loved collecting are action figures, especially comic book related action figures. I've always grew up with comic books, reading things like Fantastic Four and Superman. So a couple years ago, I started collecting Marvel Legends, and there was one figure I wish I'd gotten before. That was a figure called Cosmic Ghost Rider. I like reading more of the cosmic related stuff like Fantastic Four. So Cosmic Ghost Rider, that comic book line had interesting characters like Baby Thanos and of course your never forgettable Galactus. I actually have pre-ordered the Haslop Galactus that's coming around November. He's like a huge toddler-sized action figure. So I decided I gotta collect more of those cosmic characters like Silver Surfer and all that good stuff. So when I was looking around the comic book convention, I saw this one figure out in the wild again and I said, I have to get it. So I picked up Cosmic Ghost Rider. I have it here in person. Something in specific that I just love about this figure and I wish more figures had is accessories, and this includes a huge space motorcycle. Like, you could put your figure on there and make it fly around and whatnot. It includes also a cool flame exhaust, its power core in the front, which powers the whole entire thing, and a cool levitating stand. Of course, you can never forget Cosmic Ghost Rider, which is right here, and you get his space guns and his whip, which you need a flame whip in any Ghost Rider figure. So this thing retailed around $40, which is pretty good back in the day, but I picked it up for $45, which I think is a steal, especially being in the box. Nowadays you can find these for around $50 to $60, maybe even a little more depending on where you look. Honestly, I think it's awesome. It has some little damage to the box, but I really don't care at the end of the day. I plan on opening and displaying on a shelf alongside my other figures. So when I do get that Haslab Galactus, I feel like this will be a great looking companion piece. And of course, I will show you all that result when I do get that in the mail. I also decided to get a bit of other knickknacks, you know, the type of little small items that were dirt cheap and like, why not? So I picked up this fig pin of Dragon Ball FighterZ Super Saiyan God Vegeta. It was just $5. You can't pass it up for $5. Any fig pin for $5 is just a must-have. And I looked online after purchasing it, and I realized this was part of a 2-set, and that 2-set actually goes for $50. So this guy's pretty rare. Not sure what I'm gonna do with it. I'm not a huge Dragon Ball fan. Might give it to a friend, since I know he loves it so much. But I might keep it maybe even, because I do have a Android 21 fig pin from FighterZ, so this might be a good little companion piece for that. Who knows what I'll do with this. And also in that same $5 bin, there was a couple of other figures. There was a Star Wars The Black Series Clone Commander Doom figure. What's really interesting about this guy, this Clone Commander is based on, you know, Dr. Doom from Marvel. His whole entire attire, his green, his gray, it's supposed to resemble Dr. Doom, which is interesting because like Star Wars and Marvel, they're two different separate like entities, like they're two separate franchises. How does that work? But for whatever reason, they were able to get away with it. This figure, paid $5. I looked online and this thing goes for like 50, 60, 40 sealed. And I'm like, what? I guess people don't know what the value of their items is, but honestly, I'm gonna keep this alongside my other Star Wars figures. So for $5, you can't pass it up. You really just can't. When I was strolling around the comic book convention, I came across this small little comic booth, and they of course had a ton of comics, because that's expected. That's of course very expected in Comic-Con. So when I looked around, they actually had a couple of statues, and if you know me well, I'm a sucker for statues. I love them at times more than action figures just because of how detailed they are, from the sculpt to the paint job. And I love one comic book character in specific, which you all probably know. It's from DC, Harleen Quinzel, Harley Quinn. So when I saw the Shoujo statue from Harley Quinn, the new 52, which is from the comic book line The Suicide Squad, I knew I had to get it because I was actually looking for this for a good while now, believe it or not. Shoujo makes beautiful statues again. They're making actually some Darkstalker ones later this year from Morgan, Felicia, Lilith, which I actually have all pre-ordered. Can't wait to get them. But for now, I'm just happy to have this because I'm also a sucker for Harley Quinn. I have Legos, statues, pops, everything relating to Harley Quinn. I just love that clown girl, I guess. Her quirkiness, her craziness just really attracts. So I'm just happy to have a statue. Not sure what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna open, of course, but I'm not sure where to put it. Either on a shelf, either my desk, maybe in my backdrop for a video. Have any ideas, let me know. But honestly, I'm just glad to have this. Paid $50, they wanted 60. I was able to hassle them down a bit. They go for around a little more than that, 70, 60, 80. So I'm just happy to have this. Happy, really happy. So let's see what my next item is. I think that's a little bit better than this maybe. While I was at this convention, deep down I was holding for some hope. For some video game hopes. Deep down, and if you know me, I'm a video game collector. I just love everything that's video game related. So when I was just walking around, I came across this little toy shop, this little toy booth. And they had a ton of sealed amiibos. And you know, you don't come across those sealed anymore. And especially some of these figures that I'm about to show you. They were all sealed and at dirt cheap, and most of them I did not have aside from one, which was Crom. So I decided to buy all of them. I got Incineroar from Super Smash Bros. Did not have this guy when he released. I picked up some of the other ones, but not this one specifically. Paid $15 for that guy. Can't go wrong with that. I also got Simon Belmont. I picked up Richter Belmont on my trip to Mexico last year in November. They had just one of them lying out there. But now I have his companion Simon, so I have both Belmonts. They're actually increasing a bit in price. Paid $15 for that guy as well. It's around $30 already for 2 amiibos. Then I got the Rook from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, one of the champions. The Legend of Zelda amiibos always hold their value for whatever reason. And I know these were reprinted maybe a year ago because of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. But for $5 for an amiibo, Legend of Zelda 1, you can't go wrong with that. The reason was $5. There is some back damage from a Best Buy sticker from I believe a pickup, but I'm gonna open him. $5. You can't go wrong. Again, if you find $5 items like that are sealed, go for it. But then I was just looking around his little stash there, And there were 2 amiibos I was just surprised to see sealed because they're so pricey, and at the prices they were. I finally have a Legend of Zelda Link Ocarina of Time amiibo. I was hoping to get this guy and the Majora's Mask one. He only had this one. Believe it or not, I paid $15 for him, 1.5, and these guys go for about $50 and I think $40 loose. I paid $15 in the box. This, I'm not sure if it should open or not. I think I might keep it sealed. So, again, give me a little information, give me a little opinion on this. Keep it sealed, yay or nay. But I'm just glad to get it for $15. And then, something even better than that, Amiibo 2-packs, you don't come across this often. Or 3-packs, or any of those sorts. There's not even many to come across, because there's not just many in general. But Fire Emblem Amiibos are pricey. So I came across the 2-pack of Alm and Celicia from Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia, the remake on 3DS. The 2-pack! I paid $20 for 2 amiibos, and if you look online, sealed, drumroll please, they go for 120. Both of these guys sealed, and I got it for $20. I'm not sure how I came across this. It's like a gift. I could see why maybe there was a 20, but I don't see it just because the figures are loose over, I think for around 40. There's some, again, some sticker wear, looks like from another Best Buy store pickup order. But I'm gonna probably open these or maybe keep it sealed. But for $20, I'm glad. I have now for the Fire Emblems, I have Chrom, I have Lucina, I have those, and now I have these, and I have Violet. So I picked up all those amiibos for just $70, all sealed. 2 super rare ones, which probably just the amount of amiibo. Those 2 just basically cover all the value there in those amiibos. So I'm just glad to have all those. My amiibo collection just keeps on expanding, especially with the new Splatoon ones. You'll see, I'll get a complete line one day. So usually a couple weeks before the actual comic book convention, they announce all the special guests, all the famous people that are going to be at this event and that you can get autographs and all that good stuff. So I was looking at the list, and I was surprised to see this one person in specific. I've been holding on to this one item in my collection sealed just because I want to get it signed. And that is a sealed gold Mario amiibo that my friend gave me Christmas ago in high school. And when I was looking at this list, I'm like, this is my time. Because I was hoping I maybe can get a signature of Reggie Fils-Aimé, but he left Nintendo and he's hard to come across. Maybe Miyamoto. But surprising Charles Martinet, the voice actor of Mario, the iconic Mario, was going to be there. And surprisingly, he lives in the area, and I did not know that. And I'm like, okay, this is my time to shine. I'm going to go directly to his booth. And I got to bring, of course, my gold Mario. I booked the autograph session, I booked the photo session, and I was there. And meeting Charles Martinet was honestly such a pleasure. He is so humble and loving, and you can know he knows that he's made an impact in all the people that his artwork has touched. And when I mean artwork, because voice acting is an art. He's played in the new Dragon Ball movie as Magenta. He's voiced some JoJo Bizarre Adventure characters. Of course, he's voiced your iconic Mario. So he's voiced so many people, and you can tell that he loves what he does, and he's just passionate about his things, and he's just so humble. And you don't come across that like in many famous people. Some of them are so like spiffy, fed up. They're like, oh yes, I've done all this. Like, you gotta praise me. But just deep down, he's happy that he's able to make people's lives more bright and joyful. So I brought him my gold Mario amiibo, and he's like, I remember these. He said they were super rare to come by, super hard to come across, and they're really collectible now. And he's just glad to see. And I told him my first Nintendo game I actually played, my first game in general, was Super Mario 64. So his voice is iconic to me. So he wrote there to me in Sharpie. I'm sorry for the awful Mario impression. It says, Super Hector, you're the superstar! And it says Charles Martinet with a little derpy Mario face. So adorable. And on the side he wrote, Wahoo! Which honestly is just so beautiful to get this. I mean, he's already kind of a rare amiibo, especially sealed nowadays. But to have it signed is more desirable and more special to me. So I'm gonna keep this safe for years to come. I was jokingly saying today, maybe I'll bury it alongside me in my grave, but I doubt that. But I'm just so happy to have met him in this lifetime, to have taken a photo with him, which you can actually see it on Instagram and on Twitter, which I'll actually post the photos here on this video. But I'm so glad to have this signed because it's beautiful. And now I have the opportunity to say I've met Charles Martinet, and he is such a loving and humble man. And that's actually all of the items I got at Comic-Con this time around. It may look like a few, but honestly it's a lot, and lots of cool, rare, and pricey items I'm just so glad now to have in my collection. Hopefully I'm able to attend next year, meet some more awesome people, some more content creators, some more famous people, maybe get a couple more signatures, and of course come across more collectibles in my collection. But hopefully, if there are comic book conventions near you, video game conventions, or any convention in general that you are passionate about, attend it. You might be able to meet like-minded people, meet a couple of friends that you may be able to form lifelong relationships with, and overall, just have a good time. Know that if you're a nerd and you're passionate about it, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. I know when I was younger, I was kind of ashamed to collect, ashamed to do this, ashamed to do that, but no, just be yourself, be happy. So, this is me, Htorr. It was a pleasure showcasing all my little haul today I was able to get, and I'll see you on the next video, which hopefully will be soon. Love you all. Bye!